And we're back with part 2. Ryan, just Ryan, nothing else. Got a question for you. What's your ideal snack food in times of a crisis? And do you have a cat or pet-based animal? Thanks. Ideal snack food. Generally nuts, to be honest. I eat a shit ton of nuts. Salty nuts. No, I don't eat salty ones. I just like, you know, I usually shop in Asda. If you go down the snack aisle, you've got the bags of nut mixes that you can get, but they're usually salted. So I go down the like the home baking Whole Foods aisle, and I'll just get like a bag of raw nuts sort of thing. And I like eating things like pecans, pistachios, stuff like that. Generally, I find that they're good for munching on. So yeah, do I have a cat? No. And to be honest, I can't stand cats. I have actually got a bearded dragon as a pet, and Uber Mummy requested to have him on here, but it's just far too cold in here, to be honest, to have him out. And he ain't old by any means, but I don't like to put him under any stress, you know what I mean? So yeah, I've got a bearded dragon. I think he's about 4 years old now, maybe 5, I can't remember. Right, garage workouts 1. Question I ask on every Q&A: do you consider yourself awake or asleep? Most days I'd say I'm fucking asleep, to be honest. But I'm guessing that you're saying it in more of like a sort of question, like a soul-searching question. Are we actually awake right now? Is this all a dream? Do you know? I think, to be honest, it's safe to say that we are in some form of conscience, whether it is our own or somebody else's. Well, that's a question we may never know. John Day, guess they really want to know how big I. Oh yeah, penis. What would you say or do if you met the cast of any of the Expendables movies? I'd probably be buzzing, because they're all big action heroes, and big fan of the old action movie genres. And it'd be great to meet. I've seen Stallone before when I was in Las Vegas, and he was like giving it all that. It was pretty cool. Quick drink. But yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool to meet them, because they are all good guys at the end of the day. So that'd be it would be good to meet them. It's my midlife crisis. LT Rob. I already Instagrammed a question, but just in case, what's your job? I saw you in a hard hat on Instagram, so I assume you work for a living, as do I. And speaking of cock, Cho delicious. I'm an engineer. I work for a power company that does biogas. We install biogas plants around the country, and we also maintain CHP plants, which is basically, it's a gas-fired generator, and it produces heat and electricity. So that's it basically. I've done quite a few jobs in my time, all being engineering based, and this is just the field that I'm in now. I like it, and it's alright, so I'll probably be doing it for a while. Alex Sutton, what's the drinking, partying scene where you live, or the UK in general? I mean, I don't really go out as much anymore as I used to. I used to be out all the time. I just can't be arsed anymore. But drinking's quite a heavy thing over here in the UK. I did used to get into the pretty hard stuff, and it was a good laugh. It depends where you go. I mean, places like up near Newcastle and that are meant to be pretty intense. Liverpool is a pretty good night out. Manchester, all them type of places. But that being said, I'm from Hull, and I think Hull is a good night out. So, and most people that do come to Hull do say it is a good night out. So, but I'm more of like a bar, pub type of guy now. I'm not really into going to clubs. I can't be arsed with clubbing now, to be honest. It's just shit. You spend 20 fucking minutes queuing outside just to go in somewhere and be sweaty as fuck and get raped by the beer prices. It's like, nah, no thanks, Jeff. I'm going home. So Derry Tim, are you a football fan? If so, what club do you support? How do you think England will do in the World Cup? Like I said, I just mentioned that one. Hull City. England will do as well as they do every fucking time in the World Cup. They'll probably get off to a decent start and then it'll all just go to shite, as always. Latias, favourite TV shows or movies? I like things like I don't really watch that much telly, to be honest. I like Family Guy, you know, just like funny cartoony type of shit. I'm a bit childish like that. I enjoy watching nature programmes, David Attenborough stuff. Anything usually, you know, like surgery sort of film, telly, you know, where they're doing operations and shit. That's always interesting. Movies, just generally like action movies, thrillers, you know, stuff like that. I don't like horror movies. I'm a big baby. They shit me up. Can't be doing with them. Yeah. He also asks, do you think that purely weight training will affect your cardiovascular fitness? To be honest, I'm going to say no. Not to a level that actually engaging in proper cardiovascular activity would. I was talking about this the other day to somebody, and the whole point with cardio training, let's just call it cardio, is that you elevate your heart rate for an extended period of time. That is what helps to improve it, makes it healthier, makes your resting heart rate come down. When you're lifting weights, yes, you are going to elevate your heart rate, but nowhere near the same level, and also the time is not the same, because as soon as you finish, you'll notice that your heart rate starts to come back down again, you know. So you might be lifting for 15-20 seconds in a set and then resting for maybe a minute, sometimes 2 minutes. Your heart rate's back to normal again. So it's not as good, it's not as effective as doing specific cardiovascular training. Things like farmer's walk, that is weight training to a level, but I class that as just doing cardio, you know. It is cardio at the end of the day. You're doing it over a time period. Even if you wanted to do things like barbell complexes, you know, where you might do 5 or 6 different exercises with a barbell. You keep hold of the bar, so you might start off with some rows, into some curls, overhead press, back squat, front squat, and then like some rows, you know. And you do that in one fluid motion. It might take you a minute, 2 minutes to do, but you do it fast, lots of reps, and you're going to get your cardio that way. So depends how you look at it, you know what I mean. But I would never just say just do weights. I always say for fat loss, weight loss, you do not need cardio at all. Only because I like to drill into people's heads that the old method of, oh, if you want to lose fat, you do cardio, because it's not true. But if you just want to do weights, that's fine, but you do have to look after the heart as well, because it's, especially when you start adding some size and some mass, it's not going to do you any favours when you're huffing and chuffing when you can't even take a shit, you know what I mean? So I would always do some cardio. Should we cut to part 3? I think so.